Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. Any position works, but as always with the position, you really just want to find something sturdy and comfortable. You don't want to be falling asleep during the practice, so you want to find something possibly upright. But you want to be comfortable because then you will be worried about your body if your knee hurts or your back hurts or you're sitting on your foot in a weird way. You don't want to be distracted about that. So just find something comfortable and sturdy. Sturdiness as well, because if you're feeling like you're about to fall over or you're about to get up, it's easy to get distracted as well. So having a nice, sturdy, upright position really, really helps. But just find what works for you. We also keep our eyes open during this practice. But as always, if you have learned to practice with your eyes closed and you feel more comfortable doing so, feel free to do that. There are no hindrances here. But if your eyes are open, leave the screen alone and drop your gaze down below you, glancing at the floor or the desk or whatever is just below you. We're not staring at a particular spot and concentrating, but we're also not zoned out and blurry. We have a gentle gaze directed softly downwards. You're in a comfortable and sturdy, upright position, and your eyes are either closed or open. Gaze gently down. Just notice how you feel right now. The sensations of the body, your emotional state, just kind of the general feeling of how you are. Maybe you're feeling alert and awake, clear, or maybe you're feeling a little restless, maybe tired, slothy. Whatever it is, just notice it. Is there anything in your experience right now where you feel like you're pushing away, where you're trying to resist it in some way? And sometimes this resistance can be subtle, so just pay attention. Notice if there's any kind of resistance, any kind of saying no to what is happening. And for many of us, this is a difficult hindrance when we begin a meditation practice. Because Our very want for things to be a certain way, our very need for it, is trying to control. We're trying to control circumstances. And maybe you sat down, turned on this practice because you want to learn something to become better, to become something other than you already are. This is a great mistake. Meditation practice is accepting what is already here and now and letting go of the control freak and allowing things to be just as they are. So if you notice any resistance, any kind of wanting to change things, any kind of control or anything, just let that go too. Become interested in experience itself without asking anything from it. Notice this moment for what it is. Don't demand a thing. And if you're normal, I'm likely catching you thinking right now. Maybe you weren't trying to control things, but you were lost in some thought about a TV show or your to-do list. There's this chatter that happens, talking always. And this voice in our head is why we don't accept things as they are. Because this voice is in constant resistance. It doesn't allow things to just come and go. It's always talking about what it wants, its problems, its needs. But the good news is that this voice isn't you, although you may feel to be. We feel to be thinkers, that we create thought. And somehow the voice that goes on through our head is me. But it's not. But this isn't knowledge that we understand with concepts. It's a knowledge we understand through our experience. You can't just be told that this voice in your head isn't you. You must see it for yourself. And the method to do this, of course, is to simply leave thoughts alone for a while. Let them do their thing. And don't get involved. And of course, a useful method to do that is by noticing the breath instead. So find the breath wherever you feel it the most. Noticing the subtle sensations of breathing. And they happen all by themselves, so no force is needed here. And as the breath comes in, we know that the breath is coming in. And as the breath leaves, we know the breath is leaving. Instead of paying attention to the chatter that's constantly flowing through the head, remain with the breath. See if you can cease to be distracted by thoughts and notice breathing as it is. And maybe I'm catching you thinking again, and that's okay. When you notice that you're lost in thought, gently return to the breath, effortlessly. No force is required. Simply remain with breathing, rising and falling. Come back. Come back to breathing. Wake up. Wake up from thinking. Return to the breath, rising and falling. All right, you can look at the screen. There's a, when I was learning meditation, I went to this Zen center, and we would be on silent retreat. So I would go during retreat time, and we would have to wake up every morning about 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'd have to get up early to ring the morning bell to wake people up, and about 4 o'clock, I think, if I remember, about 4 o'clock, 4:30, to get up for bowing practice. And I'm telling you, when you're sitting there in complete silence and it's cold outside and it's dark, nobody's talking, and you're just hearing some bells, chanting, and then you're sitting in silence, trying to stay awake during those practices can be very difficult. And we can kind of get this, like this kind of thing, and maybe you've experienced this where you're sitting in practice and you're just trying everything in your power to keep your eyes open. You just can't do it. And I struggled with this for a long time, especially in the mornings, because it was just so difficult to do that morning practice. But I actually heard this from a teacher, not my teacher, a different teacher, Ajahn Brahm, who suggested when you feel sloth and torpor, just let it come. There seems to be some sort of enhancing quality when we resist our experiences. When there's anxiety, we resist it, it gets worse. When we're depressed, we resist it, it gets worse. When we're angry, we resist it, it gets worse. And same with sleepiness. And especially when your practice, you're nodding off, you can almost invite that to happen. Just kind of invite the tiredness to show up. Not give into it, but also not pushing it away. Just seeing what it is, noticing it. Just, okay, tiredness. And then even allowing yourself to drift off a little bit if you need to. But when you just let it kind of go through you, it just goes through you. And then it's replaced with more, ooh, okay. So in these mornings in the practice, I would just let it happen. Of course, not too much. I wouldn't fall over. That would be embarrassing in that setting. But the moment I just let it come, okay, here's the tiredness. I expected it. Not even thinking these things, just feeling what it's like to be tired, allowing it to come and go. And if it doesn't go and it stays, and I allow that too. But eventually, you just kind of stop being such an influence, such a problem. It's amazing, this practice, because when you learn one thing, like just as simple as learning to not fall asleep during practice, you also learn how to let go of anger. You learn how to let go of anxiety, let go of really everything, and allow it to come and go, because it's the same mechanism, it's the same thing. Even pain, you learn how to deal with pain, physical pain. You just let it come and go. And not waiting for it to go, we just let what comes to come. And so whatever you're going through, it may not be sloth and torpor. It could be excitement and agitation. It could be depression, anxiety, difficulty. And just remember, the more you resist it, the more it's going to show up. It's like if I tell you, don't think of a green elephant, you're going to think of a green elephant. You can't tell the mind not to do something. You can't control it like that. Let it happen. Watch it. And if it wants to go, let it go. If it wants to stay, let it stay. But whatever you do, don't force anything. Don't try to control it. Let it come. Then see what happens. Without an expectation, just see what happens. Thank you for showing up today. And as always, and of course, without exception, I will see you tomorrow.